Hi folks, it's Mayor Gearity coming to you on this gorgeous Friday in May. I know it was one of the first days in a while anyway that we've seen everybody get out and enjoy this terrific weather. That does raise a few questions. I feel like I've gotten a couple of reports already about fields with folks in it that is more than it should be, and it was hot enough today that people are starting to realize it doesn't feel that nice to wear a mask when it's 80 degrees out. There are a lot of continuing questions of what we're going to have to figure out with how do we manage living in a time of social distancing, with social distancing in the summer months, because they are coming upon us, and things are really changing really quickly. While there are 5 regions in New York State that are doing their phased reopening, none of them are downstate. It's not New York City, it's not Long Island, it's not the Mid-Hudson region that we're a part of. We probably have at least 10, we have 10 days at least, unless they change the rules. We have at least 10 days before we will be eligible based on the standards as they are right now, which they have changed a number of times, so we'll see if they change again. But there were a few low-risk things that were opened for everyone today, including landscaping. So there had been basic maintenance had been allowed, but now if you have a tree that you've been wanting to plant, you can have your tree planted, kind of thing. Low-risk sports like tennis, and so I just sent a message to our manager and our head of recreation parks to ask where we are with the courts at Nelson, if they're going to be able to be opened up and what that's going to look like, if they're ready for the season. And there is a membership fee to participate with that. I'm sure it will be especially attractive this year if it's one of the few sports that people are able to participate in. But I'm not sure what our plan is yet for the village, so I'll stay tuned on that. And then the other thing is drive-in movie theaters. Somebody came to us in Ossining and asked if there was some space where we could make a drive-in theater happen here in Ossining. Folks are looking into that. I don't know how feasible it is, but there was an article that came out earlier this week about some theaters in the region that are open for drive-ins. I think it was Poughkeepsie and Warwick and one other place. So that does sound like a fun way to go out. And one of the article that I read talked about how bathrooms are sanitized between each person. There is food available. I think it might just be brought to the car or takeout, obviously. Anyway, everyone's being creative with how can we engage in different ways than we ever have before. And with that in mind, I didn't give you the update for today. For the total number of cases in the village is 995. So I imagine by the next time I see you, we may have broke the 1,000 mark. But what I don't have today is the number of just active cases in the village of Ossining. That had come down below 100. We were down at 95, I believe it was yesterday when we got the last update from the county, which is really great news to be down below 100 active cases. And I'll give you the update as soon as I have more numbers on the active cases, which means the vast majority of those nearly 1,000 people now that have had it have recovered and are no longer active cases. But we will get you that updated number as soon as we can. And, something that I've heard from a couple of folks and I've read about happening in other communities is an open streets movement, which is meaning that the streets are open to pedestrians, to cyclists, so that people can spread out, and sometimes even to local businesses. So there are different reasons why a community may want to close a street to through traffic, and there are different levels that they might be happening at. Maybe what we want to do is encourage a safe space for people, pedestrians, for joggers, for cyclists, to be able to get either a loop or across the village in a way that is not just safe for them as cyclists and safe from traffic, but really safe from each other, so that you have room to be able to spread out. Another consideration is if all goes well, the regions that opened up today will be serving food in restaurants 6 feet apart between tables by June 12th, if each phase keeps opening in the optimal way, which means we're only 10 days behind that. And so we're starting the conversations. What is possible? What is feasible? What can happen, keeping in mind the need for emergency vehicles to be able to get through, the need for public transit, our bus system that goes through the village. So there are a lot of of challenges. There's also questions of, does it make sense to be able to open up some of the smaller side streets just to give families some space, kids to ride bikes and such? And can we do that and not be creating spaces that are attracting group gatherings, which is the opposite of what we're trying to create, but are actually just creating more space for people to spread out? So maybe you're one of the people who sent us an article, or you've seen something happening in Seattle or some cities around the world. It's something that we're really interested in learning more about. We're a relatively small village, but there are different approaches, different goals, and we'll certainly keep you apprised of what might work, and we'll be reaching out to the business community as well. In fact, it was some members of the business community who were among those who had forwarded us articles saying, hey, you guys should keep an eye on this. Maybe we could make something happen in Ossining. So we'll see. We'll see. The trustees and I are talking about it, and the staff has been thinking about it as well. So we'll see where it goes. Meanwhile, I hope you were able to get out and enjoy this gorgeous weather. And I hope you're able to find a way to do it while maintaining social distance. And anytime you're in any sort of group of people, which is going to happen more and more with gorgeous weather like this, please wear a mask. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care. I'll be in touch sometime for a weekend update. Bye-bye.